Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another session of Empower Your Voice. Today, I want to talk about hoarseness and vocal fatigue, the vocal and the mental approach of getting through it. And I want to first deal with the mental, and then we'll deal with the vocal approach. So, we all experience some kind of vocal fatigue at some point in our lives, whether it be from a long vocal week or an intense day of singing or speaking, or because of a cold or sinuses. For many of us, it becomes difficult to function in full speed while suffering from vocal fatigue. And as I know from my own experience, if you have a big engagement and you have vocal issues, many things can affect you before you ever mount the stage. Your mind could have already made you believe that you're going to crack, have a vocal goof, or that ultimately something is going to go wrong. Immediately, you start feeling defeated and you ask yourself the question, what am I doing? Why am I even here? And I should just leave before somebody even see me. And you're like, your mind could really take control of you and really get you into a place. And until you gain control of your mind in that moment or that situation, you could be in danger of falling prey to that insecurity. So today, I'm going to do my best to help you free yourself from some of the mental and vocal prisons that we allow ourselves to be inside of. So not feeling 100% and being in your feelings about it could leave the door open for other insecurities and issues to enter in and also take control of your mind. Issues like self-esteem, confidence, and like your ability to complete a task could all add themselves to your feelings in that moment. And then the tears begin to fall. What are you going to do now? So remember, you shouldn't carry your issues on stage. They could be a distraction. Instead, use them as fuel and to get fuel and energy to get you through that moment. Take that and shift that emotion to come out in the passion of your voice. So people want to feel that. They don't want to see you crying and snot on the microphone. They want to feel that you're hurt. They want to do all of that. But you have to be centered in order to shift that emotion or that feeling into passion in the vocals. Okay? So always find a way to be centered. If you got to stare at yourself for 5 or 10 minutes and just talk to yourself in the mirror and say, I can make it, I can get through this, I am more than this, I am more than my feelings, I am more than this hurt, whatever you need to do, but find a way to be centered. I always believe that the key to being a great singer is to be a smart singer. Always know what you're getting yourself into before you ever do it. And if you don't know, figure it out in that moment and make it work. No excuses. Next, if you're hired for a service, you must be professional at all times and give over 100%, regardless to how you feel. Canceling should be the last resort. If you need to cancel, cancel, but you need to also be ready to face whatever reapings come from you canceling. But what you should not ever do is don't call and not show up. And that's the best way or the easiest way to ruin your career, no matter how great you are. If you become known as a no-call, no-show, people won't hire you. Professionalism breeds longevity and it builds solid relationships. And I'll say that again. Professionalism breeds longevity and builds solid relationships. Now let's talk about the vocal approach. If you feel yourself getting vocally tired, immediately triple your water intake. On a regular basis, I try to drink 1 or 2 of these. This is like 800 milliliters, but they also have like 1.5 liters of water that you can drink. Triple that. Like just don't drink nothing else but water. Okay? Sleep is also like the best remedy. But for a lot of us, we don't have time to sleep outside of the hours that we have already designated to sleep. But if you can find an extra 30 minutes, if you can find a way to take a nap throughout the day, or even if you can get an hour each day, by the end of the week, you might see some improvement in your voice, especially if you be quiet. You need to go on vocal rest immediately if you don't have to speak. Now, for some of us, we need to speak throughout to get to work, like to get through our workday. I'm a high school music teacher during the day, so I need to talk. So naturally, I would try to warm up before I even get to the school so that I can kind of feel better. So let's talk about warming up. Now, if you go back and look at my Empower Your Voice Vlog 3 labeled warm-ups, there are some basic tips that can help you get through that. But you especially need to warm up if you are hoarse. From there, you can truly figure out what your vocal limitations are. And if you know that in a particular part of your voice you crack, you'll know not to go there while you're singing. Or if you need to kind of go there and it's rough and you're not cracking, at least you can know and go with caution. Respect yourself enough to be professional. Okay? Always know what's going on. Spend at least 30 minutes warming up. Okay? Keep going until everything just starts to feel comfortable. Okay? Let go of that myth that warming up makes you more hoarse. That's like throwing a chicken in the oven without seasoning it, without preparing it, and not allowing the oven to warm up too. And then expecting the chicken to come out great. Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. Okay? Take the time to prepare. That's called being professional. So here's a quick warm-up that can help you. It takes some time, but there's no, like I said, there's no need to rush a warm-up. Make the extra time to spend on the process. This could determine your outcome on stage. So what we're going to do is we're going to mum our ABCs. Okay? And we're going to start in C. Now, I want us to warm up in waves. So basically, keep everything level. Keep your chin parallel to the ground. And do the woo, like I always talk about, woo, and So the wave would be but we're going to do that while we're singing our ABCs. So here we go. And keep going. Then we'll go in a half step up. And so on until you get it. Make mental notes and pinpoint certain trouble areas so you can always know what's going on. Okay? Now let's talk about song selection. Choose your song wisely. The worst thing a singer could do is to be vocally challenged and not know the words or not know the melody. Why set yourself up? In my opinion, if you can, go with what you know well so that you don't ever have to worry about remembering the words. If you're doing something that you already know, the words should come like clockwork. 2, also learn a song in several keys. A low key, a middle key, and a high key. And actually learn the keys to the song. It makes it easier for the musician if you walk in and say, I'm going to sing the Lord's Prayer in E flat, opposed to I'm going to just start singing and maybe you can pick me up. Because what if you're not dealing with a skilled musician that doesn't really know all the keys or different things like that? You need to take things into consideration. Always have a backup plan. Okay? Or if you're having an audition and you know that you've practiced the Lord's Prayer or the National Anthem in C, you could go into the audition and say, this is in C. Just give me a moment. I'm going to get my key. But all of this is professionalism. There's no need to guess if you already know it. Okay? Always be prepared. You can either buy like a pitch pipe so you can like learn the different keys and learn different things like that. These are cheap. You can get these online. You could buy a little talking keyboard for like $10 or $12 online or at the thrift store, like I said in one of my other videos, and just start learning. If you don't know anything about keys or basic music theory or vocal theory, there are YouTube clips, free YouTube clips that you can do, that you can download, that you can watch, and you can like help prepare yourself and become more well versed in the knowledge of that. Knowledge is power. Always remember that, okay? Or if you don't have any of that, maybe you can ask like the musician at your church or a musician at your school to kind of help you get through and figure out what works best. And also be creative. You can map out certain ways to sing a song by manipulating the melody. But please remember and be careful not to manipulate a song so much that no one knows what the song is anymore. And some of us get so heavy in that. Now, it's different if you're doing like your own arrangement of something and you're doing like a remix to a song, but you really want to try to respect the melody. But next week, we're gonna talk about a song. We're gonna take a song and we're gonna break it down, and we're going to shift different melodies and do different things to kind of get through it. Like if you're hoarse and you know you can't make that high note, maybe there's another note that you can get to that's just as effective. Okay? But for now, What I want you to do is just start making a list of all the songs that you know and learn the keys that you sing them well in, and keep this list. And you can figure out what goes best and document that. You can organize the songs in different genres, in different moods, or the type of engagement. If you have a patriotic thing, if you're singing at a service, if you're singing at a funeral, if you're singing before somebody gets up to speak, you can organize your songs like that. So these are just a few steps to help you feel more comfortable before you even mount the stage. But for real, it's really time to take control in this series. And before we even start singing, we need to empower our minds before we empower our voices. Okay? So let's do it. Tune in next week for part 2 and invite a friend. Thank you so much, y'all. Have a great week.